All right. So there are more to functions than what we have here, but of course, like programming is, you will not learn everything at once. Most of the things you will learn, you will continue to learn them when you are applying most of the things you have learned. All right. So I'm going to remove everything inside this function. Like, you might think this is all about function. Is you can see more functions that could be that can have up to 30 lines, just one singular function that can have up to 30 lines doing a whole lot of things and checking so many things. But this is just the base. I hope you have the base understanding. So I'm going to remove this script. I'm going to create another file. I'm just helping you to put your things in different reasonable format. So I'm going to just put it as function.js. All right. So I would explain more when we use function on other things we need to know. So I've removed the script that is throwing the error. Yes. So I removed the script at the top and the closing script tag, since we've moved them inside this JavaScript file. So I'm returning back here. So let us look at script. Let us look at JavaScript Objects. This is very, very powerful because you will use object and functions so much. Objects and arrays. So hopefully I can combine both of them here. All right. JavaScript Objects. All right. So like the other time I gave an example. So object is also a type of variable. Like variable, let's say name. Okay, let's start with first name. First name equals to Tosin. Variable last name equals to then variable age. Okay, so look at this. These are all variables. This is a string. This is also a string. Then this is a number or an integer. So now we can actually combine. I can say variable full name is variable full name equals to, I want to combine first name and last name. How do I do that? First name, we still use the word is you concatenate strings. Concatenation, we call it concatenation. It means join together. So we concatenate with plus in JavaScript. So we want to say first name and last name. Here, this plus is not the plus for, it's not for addition. It's just to join this and this. So they are very, so don't mix them together. So that's just concatenation. Console, let me do what I've not done before. Console.log into, I want to write a statement. My name is, I want to call the full name, for instance, full name. Okay, don't worry. Let me just type full name here first of all, so that we'll be able to see my full name. So Tosin Olugbega is out as my full name. All right. So console.log. Let us console.log full name. I think we've done something like this before, so we don't really need to stress on it. So Tosin Olugbega, but here is joining it together. all right, because when I'm concatenating here, I was supposed to concatenate it with a space. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add double quotes, put a space in between, and concatenate it. So by the left, I'm concatenating it with first name, space, by the right, last name. So this is going to be seen. This space is also going to be seen as a string. So space, can you see? We have given it space. So what if I want to write a statement like my name is Tosin Olugbenga? I mean, I should be able to write it here as well, but of course, as you can see, there is no it will throw an error because it's either I'm calling, I mean, it doesn't really make sense. So it's either I put it inside a quote like this and make it a string. That is why I can console.log that statement. Else, it will throw error. Alright? Or you just call one singular variable, and you know you cannot name variable and put space. It will throw error. So it's the same thing. So, but here now, my name is full name. So let's see whether it is going to bring Tosin Olugbenga for this full name. So let's refresh. Yeah, it's not bringing it. All right, that's an error, and that is I'm interested in us having to see that error. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to, how do we now make Tosin Olugbenga come up here? So what I will do is that I'm going to concatenate that variable full name with all right, with this word. My name is, I will close the quote, I will put space, then I'll put plus here. That's concatenation. So it will still work. My name is this. So if I refresh now, it's working perfectly. So now let's quickly, so what we now want to do is I want to have an object that have my details. So instead of me having, this my details is also a variable, but is an object here. My details equals to open and close curly bracket. So it's already seen as an object. So instead of me having this variable separate here, I can easily, okay, so before I go, then I can actually come here, this ID paragraph, this paragraph with ID full details. So I don't know whether you've written this. If you have not, please just put it in there, or maybe we don't even need it now. All right, so here this paragraph ID starts. You know, we've been consoling.log this thing inside the console.log. We can also bring it up out here. This is still working for us. So we can bring it out here. Instead of we have started this name, so we can bring it out. This my name is this, and all other information I can actually bring them out inside this ID start. So it's the same method. I'll just say document. So I'll come back to this object later. Document dot get element by ID into start. You observe that when this is like this, the paragraph is not showing anything, but we want it to show this information. So document.getElement by ID dot inner HTML equals to, so I can now type my name. My name is, so I'll concatenate it, full name. I will concatenate it again with the remaining word, and I will concatenate it with my age, variable age, this age. I am then years old. All right, so it's throwing error now, so I need to concatenate it again. Please wash all of this very well. There is a space between this and this. There's a space between this and this. Then there should be space here so that this first name will not join with and. So if I save now, if I refresh that page, you would automatically see it come up. My name is Tosin Olugbenga, and I am, So if I click start, it will change the value. If I click end, it will change the value. Start, end. So that's the beauty of JavaScript. So that is that. So we are moving on from this now. So I just want to tell you the advantage of using object. So if I'm using object now, I will use first name into, so I will just put Tosin here. We've done object before, so but we now want to dig deeper. For every list of the objects, comma must separate them for every property. Like this first name is a property of this my details. So last name, so comma age, so the age is numeric, so 24. Then so these are properties. So there's going to be another property that I'm going to bring called full name. This property is going to be a function, and the moment it becomes a function, is not longer an ordinary property. It has become a method of my details. I don't know whether you get what I'm trying to say. So if you are not getting it, don't force anything on yourself. Just let us keep moving. I've taught you function, how you can declare function. If I want to declare this function, I will say function, first of all, then the name of the function, full name into, you understand? That is how I'm going to declare function if I'm declaring it ordinarily inside the code. But here, I'm saying that this particular property, which is now a method by the virtue of this function, is a function. All right, so return is going to return the value. This is the first time we'll be using this keyword and concatenating it with this dot last name. Can you see it now? So full name, function, this dot first name, blah blah blah, then I'm concatenating it. So it is a method of this particular is a method of this object. So we'll call it object method or method object. It's also a property, but it's classified as a method. So it returns this. All right. So now, how do we now access my first name here? How do I access it? So if I do console.log, that's where we're going, accessing properties of an object. So if I want to, I can say my first name. My first name is space, then I will concatenate it. My details, because I want to access this, my details, can you see, dot first name. That way I'm going to be able to access it. So if I click save now, you will see Tosin as the first name. So if I refresh, see my first name is Tosin. That's how to access a property of an object. Can you see? Property. This thing is even bringing it that property first name string. So it can also see this as an object. So it's a string. So my first name is my details dot first name. So what if I want to get my full name? Console.log. So I can now say my full name is I will also do concatenation. Oh, it's supposed to be outside. My full name is, I'm concatenating it with my details dot full name. So let's take that off. So I'm most certain that I'm most certain that this code is not going to work. So this is my details dot full name. This full name, that's what we are accessing. So if I refresh, see, my full name is bringing the function, and it's supposed to bring the name, first name and last name. So the problem now is that here I'm supposed to put open and close bracket in front of this full name because it is actually a function. Every function, when you are calling it, must come with a open and close. All right, so don't forget when you are now calling that function. So it's the same way, but in this case, this function is inside an object. That's why we now have my details to help us to identify this function, which is actually a method as well. So if I click it now, it is going to work. Can you see? My full name is Tosoluwenga. So that is working perfectly fine now.